With only 1 point out of 6 already played in the new season, Siena are back home and are in desperate need of a win that will be most welcome so that the hope of contention remains intact. After coming off winning the European Super Cup, AC Milan disappointed themselves and their fans after a lackluster draw at home. They want to redeem themselves today. Siena, AC Milan on FSC. And we welcome you to the Italian Serie A right here on Fox Soccer Channel. It is an important contest. Milan on the road against Siena. For Milan, of course, they're trying to get back on track in league play. Siena, it's very important to get as many points as possible so they can remain in the Italian Serie A. Joe Tutino with you. Glad to have you aboard for this one. A very important match, even though it is early on in the campaign. A good look at the visitors that are shaking the hands of the referees. Let's get you set up for this one. First off, let's take a look at the lineups of the home team, Siena. Eleftheropoulos in goal with 4 in front of him. Rossettini, Portanova, Loria, Greenme are his defenders. Jarolin, Vergassola, and Galop are the midfielders. Bucchi, Maccaroni, and De Sergi are up top in a 4-3-3 formation. The visitors, Dida in goal. Favalli with Nesta, Calazze, and Cafu are the defenders. Gattuso, Emerson, Brocchi are at midfield. They'll play with 3 up top. Gourcuff will be combining with Seedorf and Gilardino. Again, a big game as Emerson gets the start, and AC Milan trying to take on Siena on the road. It's coming up next on Fox Soccer Channel.
This program is brought to you by Eurosport. Log on to soccer.com.
In midfield, Jarolin, Lukasz Jarolin, Czech midfielder, plays alongside Simone Vergassola and Daniele Galoppa. Well, 3 up front, Paolo Di Ceglie, talented youngster, 20 years old, owned by Juventus. And he'll play alongside Massimo Maccaroni as the game is underway. And Christian Bucchi, last minute signing on loan from Napoli. Well, AC Milan have Nelson Dida in goal. As I said, no Oddo, so Cafu takes his place. Right back already. Milan has started. Chance for the opening goal right across the goal as Seedorf slid in. Eleftheropoulos got a touch in it and almost guided it into the path of Seedorf. The pass from Emerson, his first involvement. Gilardino shot, parried by Eleftheropoulos, and Seedorf almost there to pounce and knock the ball into the net. Lovely first touch by Gilardino. Strike on goal for the under fire striker. Seemed to be lacking in confidence, but not lacking in confidence there. Took one touch and then shot on target. A corner kick for Milan in the opening seconds. Headed away by Loria. Still Gourcuff. Now Gattuso. Gattuso swings it in towards the far post. Headed away once again by the Siena defence. Emerson pressing and Gourcuff winning back possession. For AC Milan, crossing to the penalty. This time Gilardino. Eleftheropoulos with a coming out of his penalty area with his legs and arms all over the place. Gilardino got the touch, but once again it was the Greek goalkeeper with the block. Gilardino denied twice in the opening minute by Eleftheropoulos. And again the corner kick has already been taken. Lovely skill by Seedorf, swinged in the cross again, headed away at the far post, but it's Cafu in possession for AC Milan, coming down towards the corner flag. Eventually stopped by Galoppa, so Di Ceglie. Emerson, good movement, freeing himself at the edge of the penalty area. Still Emerson gets it back towards the edge of the penalty area. Gourcuff, the ball just nipped off its toes by the Siena defence. But AC Milan have come out of the starting gate prepared for this match. But it's still goalless. Now it's Emerson. Emerson playing in the place of Andrea Pirlo. He says he's not the same kind of player as Pirlo. In fact, he can play alongside him. Emerson, a more defensive midfielder, prefers the simple passes rather than Andrea Pirlo's long-range cross-field delights. Free kick in midfield, foul by Emerson. And so I can complete the rundown for the AC Milan side. What a start to this match. Still goalless, but still Gilardino twice with a chance to open the scoring. So Cafu, Nesta, Kaladze and Giuseppe Favalli making up the back four. Favalli favoured ahead of Jan Kulowski, also rested after international duty. It's Gurkuf in the replay with his cross into the penalty area, met by Gilardino but denied by Ele, as he has written on his jersey, probably to save commentators problems with the full pronunciation of Eleftheropoulos. Now Siena in possession for the first time in the match. Free kick. Gattuso sliding in on his former teammate and maybe his teammate in the future. Grimi. So midfield for AC Milan is Gattuso, Brocchi and Emerson, with Gurkuf and Sedorf playing behind lone striker Gilardino. Brocchi also played in this fixture last season, as I said, a 4-3-7 goal thriller. AC Milan winning in the 49th minute from an own goal from Molinaro. The player now playing his football at Juventus. Sedorf almost giving half a chance at the edge of the penalty area to Loria. Loria, who scored 11 goals in 2 years at Atalanta. Not a bad return for a centre half, and he does like this spectacular strike. This time though, over the crossbar. Brocchi. Emerson. Switches play. Cafu heads it back to Nesta, first time ball forward. Trying to feed Gurkuf, but once again through to the goalkeeper. Twice called into action in the opening minute and twice had the reflex save to deny Gilardino. Ancelotti speaking about his under fire striker. He's lacking confidence, just needs a goal. And he almost had it in the opening minute here. The Montepaschi Arena. Change of names for the Siena ground. The ball up the touchline, headed away by Nesta. Out of play for still a throw-in for Siena. Further up the touchline, still Grimi. Second ball rolls on the pitch. We'll have to wait till it's removed. Number 18, Grimi. Played only 3 games for AC Milan last season in Serie A. This is third time out in 3 games for Siena. Ancelotti's plan working well. The player is gaining first team experience in Serie A. Now Cafu up the touchline. Nesta challenged by Buki up front. Gets Grimi involved in action. He'll be up against it. Cafu and Gurkuf on the right hand side for AC Milan. Now Kaladze through the middle. His pass intended for Gilardino, cut out by Grimi. His back pass wasn't quite what he intended. Got away with it though. Again Grimi up the touchline, looking for some movement up front. But Di can't get anywhere near it. Now Gattuso. Sedorf playing in his favourite position. Behind the striker, as opposed to being played on the left-hand side of midfield. Still Sedorf, lovely touch through the middle, still Sedorf, he has an option. The cross by Brock inside the middle, again is Eleftheropoulos diving to his right-hand side. This time it came off one of his own defenders. Dangerous cross into the middle by Brocchi after delightful play by Sedorf at the edge of the penalty area, cross in, and it was one of his own defenders who touched it toward his goal. Eleftheropoulos once again coming to the rescue. There's Gurkuf with a corner kick. 6-yard penalty is Loria. Climbs highest of all. Favalli chips it back in. Cafu jumping with Grimi. Free kick may be given for the challenge by Cafu. 37-year-old. ex-Roma fullback, once known as the Pendolino, is the express train, as he bombed up and down the touchline. But at 37 years old, can't expect miracles. Loria, Rossettini, Portanova. Siena taking their time playing good football, as they did against AS Roma in game day 2. Even though they were beaten 3-0, they did create a number of chances and put Roma under pressure in the Olympic Stadium. Di Ceglie getting to the byline, blocked by Nesta, goal kick. Home fans not happy. 20-year-old Paolo Di Ceglie, as I said, owned by Juventus, loaned to Siena for precious first team action. Good run into space, but denied by the expert defending of Alessandro Nesta. Kaladze leaves it to Nesta. Gourcuff once again to the 31-year-old centre half. He's retired from international football this year after being out for the most part of last season with injury, various injuries. Now Gourcuff takes aim from distance, shot too high. That's a player who doesn't lack confidence. Johan Gourcuff, after 3 years at Rennes, he was signed by AC Milan last season. His first for the Rossoneri, made his debut in September, and he's making his season's debut this year also in September. Gourcuff disappointed coach Ancelotti towards the end of the season. Too much dribbling, holding onto the ball too long, and his team caught in possession. Crucial moment was the equalising goal by Bayern Munich in the Champions League quarter-final, which resulted in the equaliser for the German side at the San Siro. Didn't prove too costly, as obviously AC Milan, who won Champions League last season, managed to go to Germany and pick up an all-important victory. Free kick, Gourcuff fouled. Very skillful player, Gourcuff. As like any other talented French midfielder, coined the new Zidane. Obviously creating enormous pressure on the shoulders of the young man. Free kick for AC Milan, Clarence Seedorf. No Pirlo, so it's number 10 Seedorf. He takes over dead ball situations. The referee blows his whistle. The referee is Banti this evening. Touched on by Nesta, and again Gilardino diving in there. Emerson looking forlornly at Nesta. Both players were diving in there. It was Nesta just got the touch, maybe taking it off the head of Emerson. Emerson, he made his debut against Fiorentina in game day 2 for AC Milan after his summer move from Real Madrid. Cavalli gives possession to Macaroni. Macaroni lets it run out of play, throwing for Siena. The touchline expects some movement and finds it. Corner kick for Siena. Yarolin giving support to Macaroni down the right hand side. There's a corner kick for the home side. Still goalless here. Corner kick looking towards the penalty spot. Kaladze with a header away, a shot driven in by Vergassola. Galoppa blocked away by the AC Milan defence. Corner kick for Siena. Coach Andrea Mandorlini pointing, indicating, looking for a movement from his players inside the penalty area. Galoppa gets a lovely return pass. Still Galoppa breaks one challenge, shot blocked by Dida. Wonderful run by Galoppa into the penalty area. 22-year-old came up through the Roma youth ranks, cut inside Cafu, and a shot blocked by Dida. Corner kick once again for Siena, putting pressure on AC Milan defence. Right across the face of the goal, Dida rooted to his goal line. Still Siena moving the ball about well in midfield, but a mistake by Vergassola, and it's Seedorf charging forward, stopped by Grimi, breaks to Brocchi. Still AC Milan in possession. A far post for Gurkuf, but well recovered by Loria. Gattuso snapping in there in midfield. Excellent control by Gurkuf. Cafu in support, gets the pass cross to the penalty area. Seedorf and Gilardino denied by Rossettini. The referee's whistle goes for the foul on Brocchi by Macaroni. Just catching the ankle. Takes Inter Milan player Brocchi. Free kick for AC Milan. Man he just saw. Goalkeeper, hero so far for Siena this evening. Eleftheropoulos, 2 important stops in the first minute to deny Gilardino his opening goal of the season. Seedorf might receive a touch before striking the shot. Still waiting for the referee's whistle. There's the touch. Seedorf blocked by the wall. It's put by De Ceglie. Another shot driven in, and it breaks to Leandro Grimi. He hooks it forward up the touchline. Nesta returns the favour. Coming in from an offside position is Alberto Gilardino, 25-year-old. Last season, his second season at AC Milan, after his big money move from Parma. His first year scored 17 goals in 34 games. Last season, 12 goals in 30. Not a bad return. Maybe it's his games, it's his performances in the big games that have disappointed AC Milan supporters. Maybe rather unkindly jeered him off the pitch after his performance against Fiorentina, substituted by Inzaghi. Move which coach Ancelotti then admitted was a mistake. They should always keep a player under pressure on the pitch for the entire 90 minutes. Once again, humble as ever, Ancelotti admitting his own mistake. Nesta. Gurkuf. As always, comfortable in possession. Gattuso. Back to Cafu. Chip forward. And Gilardino. Stopped by Loria. Simone Loria. Centre half for Siena. Mandorlini, the coach, made sure he was one of the first buys of his summer spending spree. Emerson. Brocchi. Seedorf. Back to Calazze. Patient build-up by AC Milan. Up the touch by Gilardino to Seedorf. Still Seedorf, edge of the penalty. A shot blocked by Rossettini. Thrown for AC Milan. Still deep in Siena territory. Favalli gives it back to Seedorf. Calazze. Favalli. Seedorf, as always, unmarked. Nesta takes the pass from Calazze. Everybody apart from Dida inside the Siena half. Favalli takes the ball under control very elegantly. Brocchi. Now Emerson. Crossing to the penalty area is beyond Gilardino. And Eleftheropoulos comfortable with the take. Right opening to the match, still goalless. But thanks to the two goalkeepers. Both sides with a couple of chances to break the deadlock. Emerson. Again Nesta. over the halfway line for the ex-Lazio centre half. Pass looking for Cafu. To Mandorlini, the Siena coach, already under fire no doubt from the new board of directors at Siena. It's all change at the club. New faces at an executive level, at the managerial level, as well as amongst the playing staff. Seedorf, Gattuso, edge of the penalty area, gives it back to Clarence Seedorf. Nesta, cross mishit, but it breaks the Gilardino inside the penalty. They couldn't control it, have a chance there for Gilardino. And now Buki coming forward down the touchline. Bullet out of possession by both Nesta and Costa Curta. Sorry, Emerson. Number 5 shot there of AC Milan. Historically won by Costa Curta. Now Macaroni steaming forward, edge of the penalty area, being forced wide by Brocchi, and eventually the ball taken away from Macaroni, but out for a throw into Siena. Next Middlesbrough striker, cross into the penalty area, headed away by Nesta. Grimi lifts it forward, stopped by Gurkuf. Now Brocchi, Favalli, overlapped by Gurkuf. He's given possession. Free roll Gurkuf. Brocchi. Favalli. Again the run by Gurkuf. Takes the touch, gives back to Favalli. And now Brocchi. Chip into the penalty area. A wasted cross there. Siena centre halves, both of them taller than Gilardino, and that's not the kind of ammunition that Gilardino needs. High ball into the penalty area. Buki stopped. A wasted chance there for Siena. Cavalli does well to maintain possession for AC Milan. And captain for the evening, Rino Gattuso. Cafu, Seedorf, again it's Cafu, Brocchi, AC Milan, once again, players always moving around, always freeing themselves up, making space for their teammates. Seedorf now on the right hand side, taking on Grimi, still Seedorf, Cafu, Seedorf, Gattuso, Brocchi chipping it into the penalties. The final pass, though Siena seem quite content to allow AC Milan their possession football, because inside the penalty area Gilardino is outnumbered, and so far nobody's really made the runs down the flank. Sliding chance here from Buki and Gattuso. Free kick for AC Milan. Gennaro Gattuso. Pass by Seedorf. For Favalli. He's behind the fullback. And Rossettini up the touchline looking for Buki. Possession back with Milan. Emerson to Gattuso. Now Nesta, Emerson, known as the Puma. Cafu for his cross into the penalty area once again. Topoulos confident inside his penalty area. Emerson nicknamed the Puma for his cat-like movements inside in midfield. Player now playing for his third Italian team. He arrived in Italy by Leverkusen, signing for AS Roma, and a controversial move as he followed the then coach Capello from Roma to Juventus. He was part of the side that won the 2 titles that have since been taken away from the Turin side. And then followed Capello once again to Real Madrid. Now a late summer buy for AC Milan to bolster the midfield. That's what was needed after international duty. Pirlo, who was instrumental in Italy resurrecting their Europe 2008 campaign, has been rested, especially with the midweek game against Benfica coming up. Start of the Champions League. There's Buki on the volley, spilled by Dida. Is Macaroni chance for opening goal? It's on the back of the net. What a mistake by Nelson Dida. Macaroni scored 2 goals in the same fixture last season. What he thought was the equaliser, 3-3 in the final minute. Didn't turn out to be that way though, but he scored the opening goal this evening. Siena 1 goal up. Goal scored by Macaroni. He loves scoring against AC Milan. It was Buki on the volley at the edge of the penalty area. It's so difficult for Dida, but he spilled it. And then a mistake by Kaladze. All round it was a disaster for AC Milan in defence. A mistake by Dida. And then Kaladze and Macaroni from that distance. He said thank you very much and drilled it into the back of the net. Whose mistake was worse? That of Dida or Kaladze's? For all the possession football for AC Milan, it's Siena who take a surprise lead here at home. And their second goal of the season. First game here on game day 1. They lost against Sampdoria 2-1. Chance for Gilardino as he spins inside the penalty area, but offside. Now for the first time this season, AC Milan need to come back from behind. Macaroni given it on a plate by Kaladze. And Mandolini's side have been rewarded for battling for 25 minutes. Free kick at Buki jumps into Kaladze. Now Emerson to Brocchi, up the touchline to Seedorf. Brocchi against Seedorf. Emerson. Gattuso, edge of the penalty area again. Possession football by AC Milan. Return pass by Cafu to Gurkuf, cross to the penalty area, headed away by Portanova. Nesta. Pass over, hit for Gurkuf. And the AC Milan attack breaks down. As you see once again on the replay, the goal scored by Siena with Galoppa with the cross into the penalty area. Buki on the volley. Seemed quite routine stuff for Dida, but he spilled it. Then Kaladze missed, hit it completely. Keystone Cop stuff by the AC Milan defence. Gurkuf, clever back heel, and then his side are throwing down the touchline. Cafu to Gilardino. Invites Cafu to come down the touchline, skips past Galoppa. Chance here for a good cross into the penalty area. Header by Gilardino was going wide. It's still bouncing about inside the penalty area. It's Gurkuf first to react. Still Gurkuf. Back to Brocchi. Now Favalli. He's got an offside. As Brocchi then sides into sliding tackle there by Brock, looking all innocent, but Yarolim felt the brunt of it. Number 23 for Siena. Free kick for the home side, 1 goal up, goal scored by Macaroni in 24 minutes. And Siena still in possession. Vergassola, Tigrimi. Again Vergassola. Looking to insert Di Ceglie, putting Cafu under pressure. Di Ceglie almost in there, on goal once again. Cafu just taking it away from the young striker and no more. The ball out of play for a corner kick to Siena. Cafu has already been beaten down this left-hand side as Siena attacked by Di Ceglie. And almost again under pressure, the 37-year-old fullback playing as Oddo is rested. There's the corner kick headed away by Emerson at the far post. AC Milan under pressure with these corner kicks. Cross in by Macaroni behind the goal line. Wasted chance there for Siena. The fans have come out in numbers. Very pleasant evening all round in Italy. Nesta to Kaladze. Important performance for his country against the Ukraine. Kaladze from Georgia. Loria sweeps it clear. Galoppa taking the touch from Yarolin. Long ball hit forward straight to Nesta, but possession back with Siena. Vergassola free in midfield. Portanova, eventually Vergassola in possession, taking the touch from Yarolin. Chipped forward by Rossettini and nobody there for Siena. It's Favalli and now Gattuso. Captain leaves for Nesta. Allowed to come over the halfway line undisturbed. His pass finds Cafu. Still Cafu. Chip into the penalty area, headed away by Portanova. Gilardino talking to himself, but obviously not happy with the supply. Inzaghi rested with a Champions League game against Benfica in mind, but is also suffering from a stiff neck. Ancelotti quite happy to stick with his classic 4-3-2-1 so-called Christmas tree formation. Favalli under pressure knocks the play for a throw to Siena halfway inside the AC Milan half. On the right hand side as Siena attack. And a classic home strip of black and white stripes. Touch breaks to Macaroni, looking for Bucchi. With Kaladze to Brocchi and Emerson, foul. Free kick quickly taken by the Brazilian. To Seedorf, looking for some kind of support, chips it, looking for Cafu, well washed by Grimi. Now Di Ceglie, Vergassola, one touch, slides it forward to Galoppa, which will continue this run, but Brocchi, as ever, vigilant in defence. Gurkuf, still Gurkuf, trying to dribble through the midfield. Favalli, Gattuso, Gurkuf again, switches play now to number 2, Cafu, and to Emerson. As you can see, Siena quite happy to leave AC Milan in possession. The edge of the penalty, return pass by Gilardino is beyond Seedorf and Galoppa. He's had a very impressive first half hour. And the player who was on loan here from AS Roma last season is now co-owned by the two sides. After Siena paid 1.1 million for half of the player. Di Ceglie, lovely turn by Di Ceglie, shot! Excellent play at the edge of the penalty area by the Juve youngster. Playing on loan for Siena and showing his skills there. Lovely pass, cut inside Kaladze, and a shot over the crossbar. But enterprising stuff by Paolo Di Ceglie. Seedorf, what a chance that was. Lovely skill by Seedorf, just needed a little bit more height on the lob and that would have been 1-1. Delightful stuff by Clarence Seedorf. Long ball forward, hooking it down delightfully Eleftheropoulos had come off his line. Seedorf just needing the lob, but it was just too low and well taken by the goalkeeper, Buki. De Celje, now Grimi. Cross into the penalty by Grimi. Missed it by Favalli. Macaroni. In support, he has Jaroli. But he goes back to Rossettini, cross to the penalty area. Missed by everybody. And Brocchi keeps it in play. By the touchline. Exchanges passes with Cafu. And now Nesta to Kaladze. To make amends for his clamorous mistake in the events that led to the goal. Only goal of the match so far. Siena 1, AC Milan 0. Goal scored by Macaroni. Trying to repeat its feat of last season where he scored 2 goals. He'd be happy with 1 if his side came out with all 3 points. Favalli. Emerson. There's the ball into Cafu. Partially upended there inside the penalty area by De Celje. Lovely run by Cafu. Well watched by Emerson. Weighted the ball well. Cafu taking it down in his chest, but just that fraction too slow as the Siena defence regrouped, as we'll have to do once again for this corner kick for AC Milan. Seedorf into the penalty area, well claimed by the goalkeeper, Eleftheropoulos. Confident take by the goalkeeper, replacing Maniger, the Austrian goalkeeper, ex-Arsenal. In goal for Siena this afternoon. Coach Mandorlini more impressed with Eleftheropoulos after 2 weeks solid training with his team. Emerson leaving it to Gurkuf. Again, is Gilardino the only player inside the penalty area for AC Milan. Is the late run by Gurkuf, headed away by Grimi. Still Brocchi's shot took a deflection off Galoppa. Should be a corner kick for AC Milan. Brocchi trying to G up his players, his teammates, as Milan go looking for the equaliser. Corner kick once again for AC Milan. Run by Netta. It's Eleftheropoulos with the punch. Brocchi drilling in the shot, and once again the goalkeeper back on his line. Happy to make that quite easy save, diving to his right hand side. As we head into the final 10 minutes of the first half. Siena 1, AC Milan 0. Goal scored by Macaroni on 24 minutes. And it's a goal scorer in possession now. Leaving it for Jarolin. Vergassola to Macaroni. Again Vergassola. Siena quite happy playing their triangles in midfield, but a lovely pass trying to release Macaroni down the right hand side. Good run there by number 32 Macaroni. Player impressed for Empoli in Serie A for his €12 million move to Middlesbrough, English Premiership, but he never quite either was given a chance to prove his qualities. Cross into the penalty area, hooked away by Gurkuf as Loria was climbing high. Also dogged by injury in his spell in England. Macaroni came back to Italy in the seasons 2004-2005 on loan both at Parma and then Siena, for now his permanent move to Siena. Brocchi, long ball for Gilardino. They're outnumbered by Portanova and Rossettini. Rossettini, the 22-year-old fullback, will be quite happy with his first half outing, his debut in Serie A. After 3 years, a mistake there by Loria. most experienced defender in the side. Sedov robbed by Grimi. Falls to Gattuso though. Still pressure. And it's Gurkuf, he can't bring the ball down. From a drilled pass by Gattuso. Disappointment written on Gurkuf's face. He'd come back from an offside position. Young French midfielder. A free kick for Siena already taken. Macaroni inside the penalty area. Shot blocked by Didas again across the face of the goal. De Celje picks up possession. Galoppa forced to turn back. An overhead pass by De Celje. Grimi to Galoppa. Again Grimi under pressure from Gurkuf. Composed under pressure of the young Argentine. Free kick as Cafu slides into the back of De Celje. And a free kick for Siena. Almost a second chance there for Siena in front of the AC Milan goal. They took the first one through Macaroni. If they'd have a 2-goal cushion going into the second half. Mandolini, the coach, would have to settle down his players at half-time. Free kick to be taken by Galoppa. Swings it into the penalty area, headed away by Cafu. Macaroni spins back to retain possession for Siena. Cross once again to the penalty area. Just missed at the far post. Loria charging in. This AC Milan defence not looking too clever at all this evening. The flick on was by Buki. And then Loria at the far post, just out of reach for what would have been a simple tap in into an empty net. Brocchi out-jumped by Grimi. Now Cafu for AC Milan halfway inside the Siena half. Cafu taking the return pass to Seedorf. Now the Dutch international to Gattuso. Nesta. Brocchi flighting in the cross once again, easy for Loria. Here's the touch by Buki, and on the counter-attack it's Siena with Galoppa, stopped by Nesta, and a chance here for the counter-attack for AC Milan. Sedov, Gurkuf, Sedov on the overlap, still Gurkuf, edge of the penalty area, looking for the shot, drills it in, saved by Lefteropoulos. Gurkuf trying hard to work the opening for himself at the edge of the penalty area, eventually did so, but his shot didn't trouble the Greek goalkeeper for Siena. Still Siena 1, AC Milan 0. It's an open, entertaining match, and you would expect plenty more goals in the second half to come. Nesta to Cafu. Pass easily read in midfield by Vergassola. Yarolim lobs it forward. Buki, lovely control, looking for the run of Macaroni. Breaks off Favalli. Favalli claiming for a free kick. Allowed to continue. Macaroni down by the byline. Cross blocked by Favalli. Still protests to the referee assistant. Physical play by Macaroni. Corner kick for Siena. They're going to double their lead before the half-time whistle here in their home game against AC Milan. They're going to kick-start the season. Pointless after the first two games. Cross headed away by Gurkuf. Vergassola. Yarolin. Cuts back. There's a cross looking for Buki inside the penalty area. Galoppa gets a touch and then it's hooked away by Nesta. Gurkuf trying to flick it onto Seedorf. Portanova. Galoppa, back heel. But De Celje cross into the penalty area, headed away, diving header by Nesta. Pressure on AC Milan defence, however. Nesta in the right place at the right time, but Casual in possession, hooks it over his shoulder. And then it's Emerson. The toe pocket away, but it's Siena putting pressure on AC Milan. Loria not taking any risks, giving it back to his goalkeeper. He left Turopoulos, whose clearance was met by Emerson, but it's Galoppa who's covering more ground in midfield. As Siena tried to work something through the middle with Bucchi and Vergassola, but it's Nesta. And now Kaladze in the Georgian international gives it out to Brocchi down by the byline. His cross is blocked for a corner kick to AC Milan to the final minutes here of the first half. AC Milan looking for the equaliser before the half-time interval. Apart from the first minute, they really haven't created any chances for the open play. There's the corner kick, headed away that time by Bucchi, one of the forwards. Nesta all alone inside his own half, apart from goalkeeper Dida. And again Nesta, number 13, edge of the penalty area, looking for Gilardino, flicks it, look for Brocchi. It's been cleared by Rossettini. Now Galoppa, just a long ball forward by Daniele Galoppa. The 22-year-old has been impressive in this first half. After 2 years on loan at Triestina, after I said coming through the Roma youth ranks, he's now making a name for himself here at Siena. There's a shot near post, and left Turopoulos diving down. Was a shot going to spin wide or not? The goalkeeper didn't want to take any risks. Knocked it out for another corner kick. Again it's Seedorf. Cross. And the referee blows for the end of the first half. It's a surprise scoreline. It's Siena 1, AC Milan 0. In the first minute, Gilardino was denied twice by goalkeeper left Turopoulos, and then in 24 minutes, opening goal, Dida spilled a shot from Bucchi. Kaladze mishit it completely. Keystone Kops and Macaroni was on hand to blast it into the back of the net for the opening goal. 33 minutes, Seedorf almost made an equaliser out of nothing with a beautiful piece of control, but his lob was saved by the goalkeeper. Join us for the second half.